think I could do it better.
Okay, because I didn't stop it.
I'll do all that shit talking later.
Yeah.
Look, man, I took my time with this shit. Niggas lied to me. I was just a kid with a gift you couldn't ride from me. Can't take shit for granted. Niggas shouldn't be alive. Shawty had to let it go. I'm gonna turn up before I go. On my mama and them on folk. I've been desperate, I've been broke. I've been better, I've been eating. I've been reckless, I've been creeping. I've been drinking for no reason. I've been praying, I've been thinking. Man, I know all this shit ain't for no reason. Man, I know niggas iffy, I can read them. I feel like I ain't got shit to prove, but guess I'm reaching. I feel like you did me like them niggas you had beef with. Used to be my brother, we shared noodles in the gutter. We was piecing up a nickel bag and hitting the stove for suckers. When I'm up, then we all up. But when you up, I'm out just stuck. Want my fade, don't get no fucks. It ain't no hate, it's just respect. Ignored the signs when they was there. Shit, I should expected that. I'ma always have my back, even when it's a wall to that. I don't know what you calling folks, shout it, cause I ain't calling back. In my mode, I'm falling back. I done brought the Bacardi back. Every time I get a hold of that, I think of you, it bring me back. I took my time with this shit and niggas lied to me. I was just a kid with a gift you couldn't rob from me. Can't take shit for granted. Niggas shouldn't be alive. Shawty had to let it go. I'm gonna turn up before I go. On my mama and them on folk. I've been desperate, I've been broke. I've been better, I've been eating. I've been reckless, I've been creeping. I've been drinking for no reason. I've been praying, I've been thinking. Man, I know all this shit ain't for no reason. Man. I took my time with this shit and niggas lied to me. I was just a kid with a gift you couldn't rob from me. Can't take shit for granted. Niggas shouldn't be alive. Shawty had to let it go. I'm gonna turn up before I go. On my mama and them on folk. I've been desperate, I've been broke. I've been better, I've been eating. I've been reckless, I've been creeping. I've been drinking for no reason. I've been praying, I've been thinking. Man, I know all this shit ain't for no reason. Man.
Chill. 27 Inc. Hey. We gon' get to it, get that coin, no cap, yeah. You should join, make them jump, no crisscross, you ain't on my level, young boss. We gon' get to it, get that coin, no cap, you should join, make them jump, no crisscross, you ain't on my level, young boss. In China, or Dubai, you are not like me. Nice try. I'm a nice guy. Why you wanna chop me up? Pillow talking with them bitches. I'ma call your bluff. Yeah, you act tough. Soft as cotton. Yeah, you say Batman, but I'm doing all the robbing. Had your bitch slobbing, heart throbbing. She said go deep. I told her no problem. Fanny, get that bag. It's no secret. I move different. You can keep it. I live it. 2 fucks, I'ma give it. You wanna floss? I'ma go serious. Yeah, get to it. Get that coin. No cap. Yeah. You should join. Make them jump. No crisscross. You ain't on my level. Young boss. We gon' get to it. Get that coin. No cap. You should join. Make them jump. No crisscross. You ain't on my level. Young boss. Don't call me mommy. Call me Ruger. Catch a Ruger. I'm a shooter. Shake my
what you like. I keep it tight. I need a hoochie man to hit it right, keep it wet, make me sweat, no disrespect. Come correct, ain't on my level. Oh, Boston Cross, got the jet, tryna flex, speaking on the next. Niggas on your necks, we playing chess. What you thought? Tryna be
somebody. Get that coin, no cap, no cap. Yeah. You should join, you should make them jump, no crisscross. You ain't on my level. Young boss, we gon' get to it, get that coin, no cap, no cap. You should join, you should make them jump, no crisscross. You ain't on my level, young boss.
Lazard.
Man,
put my heart in, I don't spend nothing back. Get it how you live, I was raised like that. They gon' hate you when they hate Black Jesus. They gon' hate you when they hate Farrakhan. Hate what they see in the mirror. All alone, they even hate on God. On God. Culture vultures, I know you see them. Did I mention they hate to see us winning? Love to see us fall on God. We love to make excuses too. The love I show is free to me. Karma really fuck with me, but do it fuck with you on God. I put my heart in, I don't expect nothing back.
Swear to God.
When I look back, I know who had my back.
I know who had it.
I know who's two-faced, who still hate, no one to see me shine. You can't stop my grind. Do you know the reason why? I'm gon' get it.
Go ahead and watch.
We gon' get it.
Go ahead and watch.
I'm gon' get it. I put my heart all in it. Just wait till I'm finished.
When the tight shit for the leads came aboard, I work my wrist about things you can't afford. Look at my iris, you looking at a boy. I was on a night shift when you niggas unemployed. No daycare, but we stay caring toward. Niggas ain't playing fair, but we stay with boy. Designer blitz, type of clips to carry more. Fuck with me, that's high risk, type of shit you can't afford. I gave you my last, but who keep it tabs? You know when you had it bad, you ain't at the end. Let's sit on my flash, let's bid on my cash. Tell me if you did it mad, what did you add?
I don't expect nothing back.
Swear to God.
When I look back, I know who had my back.
I know who had it.
I know who's two-faced, who still hate, no one to see me shine. You can't stop my grind. Do you know the reason why? I'm gon' get it.
Go ahead and watch.
We gon' get it. I'm gon' get it. I put my heart all in it. Just wait till I'm finished.
man, dog, let's go.
Face no man. Yeah, we really robbing niggas, so deep in the low. Yeah, we really mobbing niggas, fake shit we don't condone. Yeah, you better stop it, niggas. Pistol pop when it's on. Yeah, we really dropping niggas, making moves for the squad. Yeah, we really rocking niggas, go hard, we on our job. Yeah, we got it popping, nigga, 100 rounds up in the drum. You could get your chopper, nigga, hate to run that mouth. You cannot stop us, nigga. Hustle hard, we get the dough, we get it out the mud. We flipping packs, we getting stacks, won't see us in the club. We macking hoes, we stacking rolls, won't show these bitches no love. We flipping sour, our pack is louder, couldn't fuck with the thugs. I cash in, she cash out. Got the dope up in the drought. We paper boys on a paper route. Hit the lick, then smash out. We pulling up, we get some fuck, we run through your home. It was showing cloudy, was still talking that sucker shit we don't condone. Last year was free me, now it's free my nigga B. We FaceTime on the phone, few more months to be home. They got my tail with no bail. Gotta shoot my boy some mail. Rap don't work, this fish scale. Stitch lip, don't have a tail. Solid nigga don't ever crumble. Pass me the ball, I never fumble. When I rap, I never mumble. I'm always trapping, I'm on my hustle. Kinda flexing with no muscle. These new niggas don't know the struggle. These whole niggas don't want no trouble. So these whole niggas don't want no trouble. Fair face, no man. Yeah, we really robbing niggas, so deep in the low. Yeah, we really mobbing niggas, fake shit we don't condone. Yeah, you better stop it, niggas. Pistol pop when it's on. Yeah, we really dropping niggas, making moves for the squad. Yeah, we really rocking niggas, go hard, we on our job. Yeah, we got it popping, nigga. 100 rounds up in the drum. You could get your chopper, nigga. Haters run their mouth. You cannot stop us, nigga. So deep in the low, we kicking in your dough. We can't roll them jewels in them motherfucking blow. 100 in the drum, make your fucking head explode. All that something on the gram, got your weak ass exposed. It's robbing season, my niggas beasted. Hit a lick, then we all feasted. They see us coming, they get the geeks in. Snatch a plate if a nigga eating, I whip it good, I flip it good. I'm robbing niggas up in the hood. I'm on the block, I'm cutting throats. I'm in the trap, I'm cutting dope. That fish scale right off the boat. Them coke sales be bringing notes. Them low prices be bringing hope. We knocking off them ballers when a nigga out here broke. They don't want no smoke. They make it rain, we make it shower. We take their money, then we take their power. Strip a cow, then flip his powder. Couple grand in about an hour. I'm making moves, I'm robbing fools. Louis Bell holding up my tool. My pistol pop when it's on. 2 shots to your dome. Then cinnamon tip be ripping shit. I'm bare face when I'm eating lit. Bare face, no man. Yeah, we really robbing niggas, so deep in the low. Yeah, we really mobbing niggas, fake shit we don't condone. Yeah, you better stop it, niggas. Pistol pop when it's on. Yeah, we really dropping niggas, making moves for the squad. Yeah, we really rocking niggas, go hard, we on our job. Yeah, we got it poppin', nigga. 100 rounds up in the drum. You could get your chopper, nigga. Haters run their mouth. You cannot stop us, nigga.
Hey man, T from the B. Had to lay something down on this. Shout out Age, shout out Price. Listen to me real quick.
Oh my God, is this Christ?
Yo, everything takes time, so don't ever try to waste mine. I don't got a lot of it. Stop bugging me, cause I'm tired of it. If you want, then we can link up. Just rolled up, I'm finna spark it up. I smoke on runs, he burns shisha like sheesh. Just cop a new phone like who is this? I got a big head like Stewie's is, but I'm still a stupid shit. She fell in love like Cupid hit. If I said I'm doing it, then believe I'm going through with it. Cause loyalty, I'm true to it. I can't help it, I'm too used to it. I'm sipping on some juice and gin. You might think I'm like snooping in. The winning team, we root for them. I'm from the base, so we always win. I don't do what's recommended, but if you do shit, I commend it. I cross the line, but I'm not finished. If you know me, you know I'm not kidding. How can you laugh at a masterpiece? You capping at max capacity. I'm not even trying this half the speed. If I did, you would have to look back to see. You would swim with the sharks with your back to the sea. Now you never ever want to go back to the beach. Now if that don't seem like catfishing, I don't know what that shit means.
We've had arguments before. But they never been this bad.
Nope. The homies say age. Will you please spit one? Cause we love the way that you get done over the kick and the drum. Alright, my niggas. You want some real hip hop? Come and get some. Get some, bro. Your mama said age. Will you please spit a rhyme? That's satisfying like Thanksgiving dinner time. Let's go. Turn it up. Reppin' with my brethren, hip-hop is my illest weapon. Christ is my henchman, we proceed to catch wreck-hand. Born and raised in the Bay Area, age carries a mic one-handed, causing mass hysteria. For real, bruh, a Zilla is out for the Skrilla. Quick to pill a cat, cause my dude be bustin' the illest raps. Let's go, let's go. Feel 'em black. Turn it up, y'all, let's go. H is gasoline, ugly, I'm hot, the team, crash one on the machine, we flavor, you know what I mean? Why y'all mumble? We flavor like your auntie's gumbo. Y'all dumb slow, that's why y'all funds low. Y'all don't want no trouble with Adrian. When I'm on the mic and blazing, hating don't phase him. Amazing in the AM and in the PM, you can't see him. Ages East open like the Oakland Coliseum. Y'all don't want no static. Age is a hip-hop addict. Chopping records I found in my mama's attic. It's a bad habit, or maybe it's a good one. Whenever I'm on the mic, speaking the truth, the hood one. Yo, one time, I'll punch your punch line, and then I eat your food like it's lunchtime with one rhyme. And then sometimes I smoke a blunt while I'm chilling in the park in the sunshine. One time.
We've had arguments before.
Yeah, we had arguments though.
But they never been this bad.
But we gonna work this one out though.
And you told me the girl next door.
Yo, guys is on the board. Aging in the booth. Come on, man. This is what we do on some shit, bro. Saturday afternoon. Guys, what up, my G? What up? What up? Want to say some cool, bro? While you did just eat one time, bro. Yeah, we up in here, bro. We just working, bro. Turn it up.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't love me no more. I can't let it go. Impeccable timing, my soul is aligning. Steadily, readily, heavenly climbing. Head of the board, working on climate. Cold chair went down bad. There's a petition and I need to sign it. Going remedial when I am rhyming. Feel like a lineman, need me a Heisman. My ops like jellyfish, who need a spine? I hope you find it. Lurking comments, make it timeless. All this Facebook activism needs to stop. Screen caps every time I cough. Real unfamiliar, like who is you? Facebook cops, run some errands, low FB Karens. Your feelings hurt, and I'm not caring. Don't like the memes that I be sharing. Boo-hoo, pity you. I ain't Mr. T, I don't pity fools. I don't make the rules, I just play the game. My teacher school, spit yoga flame. You and I just ain't the same. Difference is, your ass is lame. You David Blaine, I'm Dr. Strange. I'm Barack, you Hermie Kane. Where is your album? Where is your product? What have you done except go and snitch? Real life, homie, you a bitch. I hate the word, but I guess it fits. I drop a diss, I make a hit. I choose a side, you play the fence. You can't even come ride the bench. Facebook camping trips, it gets intense. Stalk my page, burn some sage while I get paid and you stay enslaved. Working hard for the minimum wage. You need EBT and Section 8. Get out my face. Ain't no love, it's only hate. You know why? Your ass is weak. Think you woke, but you really sleep. See, I'm the wolf eating up the sheep. I don't bang on computer screens, say exactly what the fuck I mean and I feel. Word is bomb, words can heal, words can kill. I'm too high, can't match the scale. They don't know about the shit I build. I'm front lines and that's for real. Black August, where was you? May Day, where was you at? What about Columbo? Who remembers that? I ain't seen you as a matter of fact. What about the cipher? You too whack to rap? I don't care who you related to. I don't care who you say it to. I don't care who you play it to. You know who I'm talking to. I don't care who you related to. I don't care who you say it to. I don't care who you play it to. You know who I'm talking to. Stop caping. Make a motherfucking observation. Think about who's talking. Learn some motherfucking communication. Use a loaded gun. Your trigger's easy to pull. You can't blame that shit on me if you come to lose your cool. No more heroes, I'm sorry that I'm imperfect. The lies I say make it worth it. Conscious voice fulfilling purpose. The streets make people feel worthless, but you out here judging me. I rid the other suburban. Took my niece to Sunday service. Wrote messages for beloved so they know somebody care. Male role model for all them daddies who ain't there. And you only come around to critique the things that I share. Got in touch with my emotions and I'm mentally prepared for days like this. Going out to fight the bear. Stay strapped like a square. I guess that energy is rare. You ain't say shit on my Nas X video. Old as Arsenio. Fuck all y'all millennials. You think that you critical. Your energy is pitiful. Fake, woke, broke, dumb, and stereotypical. Do you even have thought to your own as an individual? Or the common sense that God clearly never gifted you? They don't love me no more. They don't love me no more. They don't love me no more. I'm not your hero, baby. Your hero, baby. They don't love me no more. Said they don't love me no more. They don't love me no more. I'm not your hero, baby. Your hero, baby.
Showtime, showtime. Hello, my people. On tonight's show, it's a rap and bitches extravaganza. We're gonna be premiering some dope new tracks by rapper slash porn star Thug Nasty. I love Thug Nasty. Real cool guy. I mean, this is lots of porn sites. I can't go to his porn sites on the show because of the history. Just search for Thug Nasty. You'll find him. I'm sure he'll tell us tonight. Let's call him. Thug Nasty.
Hey, what's up with it? It must be hard fucking awful.
Oh, hell yeah!
Hard fucking awful. What's up with it, man?
What is up, Thug Nasty?
Oh, man, you know me, man. We fucking busy, we get money as usual, man. Hey, you know what? I just, man, I smoke so much fucking weed, man. As soon as I see the fucking number, I just remember. We had an appointment, man. What's good? Part off of television.
All right.
Part off of that time. What's good, man? What's going on over there?
Yeah, I'm too nasty for the radio. Thug nasty, too nasty for the radio. I'm too nasty for the radio. Thug nasty, too nasty for the radio. Yeah, I'm too nasty for the radio. Thug nasty, too nasty for the radio. I'm too nasty for the radio. Thug nasty, 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 too nasty for the radio.
And it was written. I speak into existence every lyric that I'm spitting. No bullshit. I wouldn't shit you if you was my last heard. All a man had is a word. Thug nasty, too nasty for the radio. I wouldn't clean my act up if you pay me though. Your girl loves my dog style and wanna pay me though. I'm from the old school, no Captain Saver. Oh, I got him on the daily though. Women are my luxury. I'm a sex addict, no need for recovery. No skullduggery, no shit. Skullduggery's a word. You can Google it. Call me a lyrical soldier, vocabulary broke every morning. I get thanks, waking, fake, drinking, Folgers. I'm from 707, stay back that I told you I'm on the pod off the TV show because I'm too nasty for the radio.
Yeah, I'm too nasty for the radio. Thug nasty, too nasty for the radio. I'm too nasty for the radio.
What up, everybody? It's your boy DJ Rowe, and this is Anna's Global History Radio podcast. Anna, are you in the building?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up?
What is going on, Anna?
How's it going?
It's going all right. Feeling a little blah, but
Oh, you are?
good. Just a little bit.
Hmm. Yeah, well, you push it pretty hard. So
I know.
I left a message for Allison at Integrity to,
Yeah, I left her a message too.
Okay, so when did you leave her the message?
What was the day you told me? I think you told me on Sunday or Saturday, right? I did it the next day. I think it was like Monday.
Yeah. Well, if she's heard from us that, if she's heard from both of us with that time, that might mean we should look someplace else.
No, we'll see. Give her a minute. She sometimes takes a little bit of time. Nah, don't look. Yeah, you got to give her a minute.
You're right. She
sounds like she's a busy person. So
yeah. You were right. I mean, yeah. Well, that was fun when we all went by there last week.
Oh yeah, that was pretty cool. That group that was there was pretty cool. I didn't get their name. Yeah, but they were tight.
Yeah. So I mean, if they don't have anybody doing the third Fridays, I would just think they'd let us back in. So
yeah, we'll give her a minute. We'll see what she says.
Yeah. So there's been hearings going on in Washington all day about setting age limits for social media.
I like that.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
yeah,
They should do that.
yeah.
Or if they're not going to do that, they should have it to where if they're going to have a social, they should have one for age limits. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're going to have one for kids, make one for kids and then make one for older people.
Well, they do, but it's kids get around it, and so do adults. So, but I think if you make it, and believe me, I'm not somebody that jumps to like, oh, this should be outlawed or something at all. I mean, but just learning about how dangerous social media, how much damage social media has done to young people, and see if you make it illegal to be on, I would think that if you make it illegal to be on social media before age 16, there would be a way to have the option to bust adults that pursue juveniles over social media.
Yeah, the only problem I have is how you're gonna, when people make fake profiles and stuff like that, how would they be able to handle that?
Same way the dating sites do.
What do they do?
They put highly paid coders and all of that they have working on it to work on it.
So my question is this: let's just say a kid stole your phone.
Yeah.
Let's just say they used your profile and they go on with your phone.
Yeah.
If you were a coder, how would they know?
Well, they don't find. Well, they don't find out immediately. But I will, with some case like that, I would report my phone stolen, so it wasn't.
Right.
I mean, you can't get rid of things entirely, but it can help, and it can. It would mean that the companies it would make it more possible to see the words I'm using, because it's not stuff you can enforce for them entirely, but you could make it, if that was the case, social media companies would they wouldn't be able to design programs and algorithms and stuff for younger people, as it wouldn't be as easy for them to do it. There would, I think, a word for it is accountability and leverage. So like if something is released, like if they release some app or something to do on social media that's tailored for younger people, then you can go after them for that. Be like, okay, well, can you answer that? If it's illegal for social media, for kids to have social media profiles, again, as I said, you could bust older people as accessory to it. And yeah, I mean, and it certainly gives parents some more leeway, and parents need help with this. I mean, they deserve help with this. I mean, these are high-tech companies that are deliberately targeting children because they make money off of children. The more time kids spend online, the more with their social media profiles, the more money the companies make. So that's target and the way the algorithms work and all that. So that's focusing on youth. So parents should be supported in that. We need to help them. A lot of money is being spent to damage children's lives. So I mean, parents can take all reasonable precautions and still their kids can get into trouble. And even if parents are not taking all the precautions, these dangerous content shouldn't be out there. See, like they did, like what one of the like a kid went to Snapchat to look for exercise tips, and the algorithm sent her a suggestion for a pro anorexia website or site or something like that. They don't have to do that at all. That's just to monetize online. And so, you know, like Tinder, the dating sites, like with the dating sites, you can, I don't know, I mean, I've done them, it's been a while. You have to, because that would be something where people set up fake profiles all the time. And yeah, some of them get by, but you know, they can't get everything, but they can get some things. They can get more things done. So I texted my brother to see if he was there at the hearings, and I didn't hear back. So yeah, he was just on Dr. Phil.
Nice.
I know, huh? Yeah. Yeah, he's been on Fox and Friends and all that. You got to try and reach everybody. And this is just something that, I mean, parents from, I mean, they are working on, some of their research has shown Black kids and kids of color being targeted, but for the most part, this has not come up, but I'm willing to bet that of the, you know, they're representing a couple hundred families. I'm willing to bet that they're pretty much economically that it probably covers a really wide range, because kids online are going to be looking for this, you know, for a lot of the same stuff. So that'll be interesting to see. I mean, you know, and the fact is, even people at all levels of economics get so yeah, because a lot of stuff isn't like that. A lot of public policy measures and all of that do have to do with consequences of people not having much money. I mean, just about all sorts of health initiatives have to do with being lower income. A lot of like occupational hazards are a much bigger deal. So yeah, so this is unusual. I've been listening to the Adoptees Crossing Lines podcast, and it's really important. And they showed a sign, you know, a promotion for a adoption agency saying something like, we've created 40,000 families, and they're posting under it, you've broken up 40,000 families. Yeah, because they're saying like, okay, I mean, adoption, the idea that you should be throwing a party about adoption is problematic because I'm not saying don't commemorate it, but a tragedy has always taken place in order for a child to need to be adopted. So, and then when it comes to kids being taken away, I mean, that is flat out, I mean, state and, you know, yeah, parents, you need to report parents that abuse their kids, but there's other situations of kids being taken away. What they promote is guardianship. You know, they're not saying that you should, they're not saying that all birth parents are suitable, should be able to keep their kids, because but they're saying that if like the state shouldn't be able to take away your first birth certificate and give you another one. And I mean, it's interesting to me because I'd never thought about it that way. You know, I mean, I'd never really thought about having any thoughts about my birth certificate other than getting a passport or something. So, but that is a real thing. I mean, and people feel like that is their identity that has been stolen. So if you make it guardianship, and they were talking about, I think it's, I mean, they were talking about, and that's one thing with the kids that in my family that were adopted by narcissists. One thing, she did one thing right, which was not change their names. Because people will do that even when the kid is old enough, is really old enough to go there to know their name, to know their name. And so, yeah, because I was also reading a book about transracial adoption. This is just sort of my thing to be following on Twitter, is just adoptees' rights. And they get asked all the time, well, what's your solution? Which is sort of bullshit, because just because you're pointing out a problem doesn't mean that it's your job to fix it. I mean, so it doesn't mean it's your job to have the answer. And a big reason, like, I mean, people can get their kids taken away because they're unhoused. And in situations like that, kids should be somewhere safe, but the parent should be able to regain custody once they have a place to live. And it doesn't happen that fast at all. I don't want to make it sound like that, but I mean, basically the reason that rich people don't lose custody of their kids, put it that way. I mean, and some of them should probably, or just as much, but a lot of the problems, you know, there's a lot of societal problems that will contribute to children being removed from their homes. And so it needs to be looked at, how can that not happen? And to say, well, that is leaving out international adoption, which is such a fucking racket so far as I'm concerned. And I've always thought that, but it's just, I mean, it's political. There are children can be taken by power figures in a society and given to, you know, people take kids from poor people, and sometimes they present it like there's been cases, a lot of cases of parents leaving a kid in an orphanage because they can't care for them, and then they come back and they think that they're just going to be cared for, and they come back and try and get them, and the kid is gone. So so different, so I remember what's happened with international adoptions is they move around to they move around they move around to different countries depending, because countries change their laws, they change their adoption laws. Like people used to adopt a lot of kids from Guatemala, and Guatemala changed their laws, and so did Russia. And because for a while a lot of kids were being adopted from Russia, including from people that I know, and a big part of that is that people want to adopt. There's a lot white people want to adopt white kids, and so that's why it was very popular to adopt children from the former Soviet Union, and because people want their kids to look like them. And one of the things, there's now a lot of adoptions from Ethiopia, and what was found was that parents will always say, they'll say my kid was they identify the kids as Ethiopian, not as Black. They're sort of like, okay, well, this kid's Ethiopian, and we brought them to the United States, but they're still Ethiopian because we don't want to deal with whatever. We don't want to deal with having a Black kid. And yeah. So it's just, I mean, can you think of it? I mean, you've heard stories, haven't you?
Oh, you mean of adoption?
Well, yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah, I've heard of stuff like that happening. I've never heard of what you said, but I can see that being something happening. Yeah. Well, that's not something you're liable to just hear about unless you, I mean, you know, like I remember, like, I mean, well, particularly you see, there's just a lot. I mean, you know, just one of the biggest things you see is white parents that don't talk to their kids about race and don't understand or bother to understand that their kids are going to be treated a lot different than they are. And so, and they don't have anything. So these kids are just, you know, having this experience of being a Black person in America with no other Black people in their life. And that, so they're, you know, they have the whole experience with cops and all of that, and their parents just think that it's like they don't, it's like they want to think their kid is just, oh, well, they magically are not, they're magically just like us. And I read that it's a lot more popular. More people are interested in adopting girls than boys because of this bloodline sort of attitude. People want to feel like their kid is more, people have this idea about like carrying on their heritage or whatever. And so they feel like, so they'll want a boy to do that. But if it's a girl, they won't want, that's not as important to them.
So basically it's different than just about, I mean, there's definitely places where there's just for various economic and status reasons where there's more girls available to adopt, but yeah, people don't feel as personal about that, I guess. So, I mean, it's just a real, people need to speak at you. And you always need to bear in mind that when people speaking out about problems in the system are doing it because the problems that have affected them, and people who've had a good experience aren't that liable to be speaking out about it. So you don't have much of a sense number wise with how this is going to work out. But I mean, it's pretty interesting, but people just feel like there's a lot of people that just feel very personal about not being allowed to access their original birth certificate. And because at one point, I mean, I disagreed with records being open, and I'm kind of iffy about, and so a friend of mine was saying that was talking about it from that aspect, that children are more likely to be taken from disenfranchised communities, and so that's and so the parent, mothers, like a lot of them don't want to give up their kid. They just don't have choices. But I just think that there's situations where, for whatever reason, not for tragic reasons, where women are not safe with it being known that they've had a kid. So basically what, I mean, my friend felt that it was more the government keeping people's records from them, which I agree with, but I feel that there should be lots and lots of mechanisms, as many as possible, for people to find each other. But I don't know. I'm sort of mixed feelings. I still do have mixed feelings about that, because I mean, there's especially, I mean, especially rape victims, and I don't know this for sure, but to me, it seems extremely logical that rape is a weapon of war. So a lot of children coming from overseas, I think, would have been child of rapes. So from certain countries in particular. And, I don't have the information to track it I mean, it would be really hard to figure that out, but and also because people don't want to figure that stuff out so much. But like, if you looked at children, like if Ethiopia is still allowing foreign adoptions, you'd want to look at what part of the country the children were coming from, what sort of conflict was happening there. So, I mean, there's cultures where women will be punished for that. So I just feel that there's situations where it is going to be where a woman's in a terrible situation, and she makes the best choice she can out of a bunch of really bad options.
Man, that's crazy, man.
Yeah. when I was a kid, it was more common to, I'm not sure how we would know this. I mean, at one point there really was this idea that there really were people that didn't tell kids that they were adopted. And that is almost all, that's not done. That is hardly ever done now. But that did used to be more of the normal thing to do. And I think that, I mean, people think that babies don't have feelings, I guess, or that you can just, and they were talking about how, okay, well, if a baby has 9, I mean, even if it's an infant, a baby has been bonding with its mother through a pregnancy. And so even if you take a baby away right away, it's still that person's kid. And so, but yeah, that was, I get, well, I guess we were partially more aware of, well, we were more aware of that because when I was a kid, we had what were called at the time, unwed mothers living with us. We had, there were young women that would come stay with us and I guess like do some babysitting that were pregnant, and then they'd have their baby and leave. So my brother remembers them a lot more than I do. I kind of remember some of them, but I think that's why I was aware, because this was the late 60s, early 70s. And at that time, there was not open adoption for the most part. I mean, they were not allowed to have any contact with the adoptive family. So that's what happened, I guess, with some of the women in that stayed with us. Like with one of them, my mother was super dramatic and not I wouldn't even necessarily call her dishonest, because she kind of just, I think she really kind of believed her own, she'd come up with stuff, she'd convince herself of stuff. So she had this really dramatic story about sneaking in to take a photo of somebody's baby because she wasn't allowed to have it. So that's how it was back then. I mean, I remember and back then, that's what there was, like homes or whatever. When girls got pregnant, they would make up some excuse and go stay somewhere for a couple months and have the baby and then come back. That's something that always happens in books a lot from that era, but it was true. So it would be the sort of thing where lots of people would know anyway. But I'm not sure how my family wound up doing that. But one of the women is really stayed real attached to my family. However, she finally, I had to like, she was sort of way too familiar with me, and I just had to like say something or other, like politely, but I was like, okay, you knew me when I was 2 years old, but that doesn't, people do that. They think that, you know, they think because they think you know them because they knew you when you were a baby. But she just was really attached to my family. And okay, oh yeah, I think I brought this up once before because somehow she wound up having a conversation with my dad about how she doesn't want the children she has with her husband to know about the other adoptive kids. Yeah, I brought this up before because that's just an example. That's an example of how unfair this is. Like, wait a minute, I know that, but I mean, I know that, but the kid doesn't. Or so I mean, so now, I mean, she's scared of the kid finding, because now, I mean, with 23andMe, people find their relatives, and yeah, I'll have to ask my dad if anything new has come of has come of that. She's worried, she's worried about the kid coming to find her. Incidentally, she married somebody extremely wealthy, so I know that's not why she's concerned, but oh man, imagine if you were like your kid that had been given up, and you find your parent, and they show up, and you find that they're, that would be,
Wow.
yeah. One of my cousins that was adopted found her biological family, and her mom and dad had gotten married. I think that would seem really hard. Like, okay, if this was a stable enough relationship for you to get married, but she's had it. I'm not close with her, but it seems like it's gone well for her. But anyway, I mean, it's interesting, and it's a part of our interests here about heritage and legacy. And I mean, I'm so interested in records of things and documents and all that. And I mean, I remember reading people talk about finding the boxes of paperwork having to do with their adoption, and there's people that are like, my parents bought me. It's just really uncomfortable for people to talk about that aspect, that if you are working with an agency costs money. And so the book I was reading was about somebody that was researching transracial adoptions, and she was particularly from the adoption agency standpoint. So she was talking to a lot of social workers, and she said the problem that a lot of them had, or the difficulty for them with trying to do their job, is that I don't think they should be called social workers personally. I mean, these are I don't see what social work about them. I mean, they're adoption counselors or whatever. But I mean, these businesses, they feel like some of them got into the industry because some of them, because they felt like they'd be finding homes for children, but it's basically finding children for parents, and that's the real problem and with it. And that people can be, they've hardly that there's a lot of competition, and if people don't get what they want from one agency, they can just go to another. So they talk about home studies and stuff like that, but if you just have an adoption, I mean, if you're just doing that as a private adoption agency, that can be totally formulaic. I mean, there's nothing legal behind it. So, the interviewer was asking if they'd ever turned somebody away because they thought they'd be a terrible parent. And that doesn't, they said, like, once, that really doesn't happen. That So, and again, I mean, anybody dealing with these agencies in the first place is going to have money. And so you have, you know, they can just go someplace else. If they, so the companies were, you know, they have to market their services and all that. They have to, and it's weird. It's like, cause it really is, it's a totally one-sided transaction. They're trying to, get parents to adopt they're trying to get parents into their agency by saying, we're going to get you a baby. And with at least, if you're looking at, I mean, the state systems, at least, which are full of problems, it is flat out trying to find a home for a kid. That is what they're trying to do. There's a lot of problems and a lot of mistakes, but they are trying to find a home for a kid. And that's not what private adoption agencies are doing. So
why don't people try to adopt from foreign countries instead of like from the United States? I mean,
they do.
Oh, okay, so they do it exactly like. Okay, I'm blanking.
No, it's very different. No, I'm sorry. I must have left something out because.
No, I think that was me. I was blanking.
Okay.
I just thought about it for a second.
Yeah, I mean,
scratch that one.
Yeah, and that turns into that's kind of like for example, I mean, you know, that's why people will adopt kids that they say are Ethiopian and they don't consider them Black. And then some friends of mine have children they adopted from foster care. My friend has people will be like, oh, where is he from? And she's like, Oakland. I mean, you know, but yeah, people think that, I mean, for people, it's like, for some people, it can just be like a status thing. It's like, oh, well, the biggest thing is they feel like they don't want to deal with birth parents. And they feel like, and in most cases, they're right, that if they adopt from overseas, the birth parent won't be able to find them. And well, for people, it just takes on this glamour, like, oh, we came and, you know, when, yeah, there's kids in the United States that need homes just as badly, but, you know, and it's not that, they're any less likely to have developmental problems and emotional difficulties. I mean, so yeah, but yeah, I mean, overseas agencies will be different. Like it used to be a lot easier, but now that there's more regulations, like some countries will allow single people to adopt and some won't. So they can basically kind of hop around, and if they can afford it, and yeah. Want to take a break?
Sure, let's do it.
Okay.
All right.
Bonus Andes. You left me at the bottom, well now I'm at the top. Now you out here looking for me like, why don't you just stop? I don't got a thing for you. I don't got a thing for you. Too many people in my business, gotta stay on the low. But my money going up, still hungry to get more. Don't think I'll ever stop, might keep telling me to go. So I'm chasing my dreams, can't seem to let it go. I never had no help, had to do it on my own. Different levels in the game while you ranking pretty low. I did not see it coming, I was struggling all alone. I gave you my trust and you threw it to the flow.
Away to the floor when you left me, yeah. Saw me coming back for the next late night. I'm just steady focused on my checks now, yeah. Said I'm steady focused on my checks now, yeah. So glad that you left me. Move on to the left, please. Should've met her on my own. So glad that you left me. Move on to the left, please. Should've get it on my own.
They said they had my back, but I'm riding by myself. All black tints, cause I'm staying to myself. Why these niggas wanna hate on me? Why these niggas wanna hate on me? Too many people wanna get it how I get it. I've been low key, I've been lonely. Don't want no funky, I keep the heat. I've been down for so long, now I gotta eat. They telling me to wait, but I ain't got no time. I gotta get my check, yeah, I gotta get mine. Bitches on my dick, yeah, that's all the time. But me and my niggas, yeah, we staying on the grind.
Away to the floor when you left me, yeah. Saw me coming back for the next late night. I'm just steady focused on my checks now, yeah. Said I'm steady focused on my checks now, yeah. So glad that you left me. Move on to the left, please. Should've met her on my own. So glad that you left me. Move on to the left, please. Should've get it on my own.
She makes me sweat that heat. She melts my head. She's diving deep. She's too much fun. It ain't even the end of the week. I scream OMG, just so strong, my knees get weak. I'm always chill when she puts that fire within. This fever dream experiencing the fire I'm in. Mouth open for my boo, she sees me, she screams. Give her that look like, woo, let's fuck this scene. I screw the boys, but I love this girl. My eyes on her as we rule the world. She's a vibe, I gotta ride over and over again. Strap on, a real banger's coming again and again.
So I'm hyperventilating a little bit. If I fall over, pick me up because I've got some things to say.
So when people want to stop talking about the issues that Black women face, when people want to stop talking about the issues that trans women, immigrant women face, we gotta ask them, why does that make you so uncomfortable?
This is the girl on girl, for girl kind of world made up of queens. Makeup by Maybelline, but she's already born with it. I see the queens of the world are coming up, whether on the Real, The View, or Oprah. The world is watching, you know it's all over. She is your teacher, doctor, trainer, soldier. Love you, your sister, keep the love coming up. Hear her dream inside of her melodies. Let the woman dream, screaming melancholy. Let her fucking dream, fuck all her enemies. I'll fight with her, we're all one energy. And I do the boys, but I love this girl. My eyes on her as we rule the world. She's a vibe, I gotta ride over and over again. Strap on, the real bangers coming again and again.
The world is waking up and change is coming, whether you like it or not.
And when that new day it will be because of a lot of magnificent women.
One does it really. Life in my soul, life in my life is life in my soul.
Back, y'all. Anna, are you in the building?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Man, we don't talk about this that much, but I was like, wait a minute, I can't. I guess there was just a mass shooting in El Paso. I can't keep track.
Yeah, there's just like a mass shooting every other week, it seems like.
Yeah, at least. I mean, there's been 50 this year so far. So I don't know. I mean, I was reading about, there was just one now there's people that have been in more than one. So Vallejo City Hall has all this, they closed off the front that used to be the main entrance. And so now it's like downstairs and people were complaining about it, but I was like, well, I guess I see why, because when I first moved here, I was surprised at how easy about how you could just walk into City Hall and do something. And, like most city, like now, I mean, there's a metal detector and stuff and,
Yeah, but it's getting to that point.
Sure is. Yeah. Yeah. But, so I was reading so I guess the University of Michigan sent out text messages to students. So now what they're told is they got a 3-word message which said hide, run, fight.
That's what you got to do. That's kind of like the staple for a shooting. You know that, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. But I guess like one of the things I've heard other explanations, which is I've also heard it said, I guess it's different if you're out and you're open, is that you should run first.
Well, you can't outrun a bullet.
Yeah.
So in reality, I mean, you know, like I said, if you ain't got no choice where to go, you're gonna run, but you want to run and try to get somewhere where the shooter can't see you. So that's where the hide comes from. Then, like they say, of course, you know, if the shooter's coming towards you and they see you, I mean, you kind of have no choice but to run. But then there's also, you know, like, you know, if you're cornered, you just got to fight. That's all you can do.
Yeah. I mean, definitely. Yeah. Cause I mean, yeah, the most logical thing to, I was, reading about it. That was also, yeah, that was a documentary I was watching about the mall attacks in, Kenya. It was a little different too, cause it was, I mean, it was terrorism, but yeah, it almost amazes me that I haven't been in one. Thank you, Kevin.
Boy, don't say that. Don't jinx yourself.
I don't believe in jinxes.
Jeez, man. Oof.
Yeah.
You up here like I can't. It's amazing that, man. You be lucky. Hey, I don't think you want to deal with that.
I am extremely lucky. I mean, I've never been in a serious car accident. I know maybe it'll all happen to me tomorrow now that I've said it.
Oh God, no, Anna, don't say it. Anna, you just come on, Anna.
Stuff's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. But yeah, it does. So I watched the State of the Union address. And so, you know, it's funny because I mean, people do this with everyone. People like say that Biden's like not together, but I'm always most interested in watching the president leave and go through the crowd of people. And so, and like chat with people and see, Biden's the sort of guy, Biden loves doing that sort of thing. He's like an old school politician, like that. I mean, Obama didn't. Obama would try and get out of there, but you know, with Biden, he's like stopping to talk to people, and people were like holding up their FaceTime so he could say hi to their grandchildren and stuff. And so, you know, I was listening, and I mean, that's definitely a setting where it would be easy to get confused with, like, I mean, shit, it confuses the fuck out of me when I'm in big places with lots of people, but he seemed totally with it. Did you watch it?
No, I did not.
How was the Super Bowl?
The Super Bowl was good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Was it a good game?
It was a good game.
Good. Okay, I was over at my friends. Oh, that was the night, because remember you were talking about coming over to Calvin's after Super Bowl, but I got over there and I was like, Calvin had just come in from the store, and I was like, "What's that?" And he's like, "Pig's feet." He was craving pig's feet.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, "Wait, do you remember you told Roselle you'd make him some tri-tip or something?" But yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't do pig's feet.
Yeah.
Man, that's old school right there. When
It
someone
is.
gets some pig's feet.
Yeah, yeah. He said he was having a craving.
Yeah.
I ate some of the rice. It just so I was like, okay, yeah, I saw the lot. Weren't you someplace where there were? I was like, wait a minute, didn't Roselle post with some oysters or something?
Yeah, my friend, he eats oysters.
Yeah.
So I got him some oysters, and I got them from Soul Trends, up the street.
Yeah.
So I grabbed him some oysters. So I was watching, and I just filmed him shucking some oysters.
Oh, okay.
That's his thing. I don't eat oysters.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Because I was telling Cal, because I didn't know that. I was like, well, I was like, Calvin, remember you're gonna have Roselle over? He was having some oysters. I don't know I don't think that goes so well with pig feet. So yeah, we're still gonna have to try and do it.
Oh yeah, we'll hook it up.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Yeah, maybe like this weekend.
We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Be cool if we get to do the Integrity Club again. Oh, okay. So I was looking at some article and an article by another guy whose family, he was an English guy whose family had owned a plantation in the Caribbean, and so he was one of these people that was trying to figure out, like, okay, how do you deal? I mean, how can you try and do anything better? What the fuck should you do? And see, I kind of find that, like, I think I'm fascinated. I'm really interested in people that have relatives to live down, because I have relatives I have to live up to. It's not just my brother, it's my dad. He's somebody I feel like he's somebody I really feel like I need to live up to and do some stuff that's as good as he's done. So that's why I'm interested in people that feel like they need to live down their ancestors. But see, I don't. But the plantation was called Roselle.
Really?
Yes. So I had to read the book. I had to read the book after that.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a trip. That was a trip. So yeah, so I looked it up, and it comes from a French name. So
well, oui.
I know. Well, it also says East Indian sparsely prickly annual herb, and yeah, it's derived from the Old French. There you go. But yeah, so I guess that's when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, no fucking way. Yeah. I couldn't get the fucking book from the library or anything. And so I bought it on Kindle because Kindle's cheap and the profits go to the guy's foundation. Because I was like, I sure as fuck don't want to pay you any money for what. But I'm looking forward to reading it, because what he did was, again, I mean, he went through a whole bunch of archives, and I mean, if that's your family heritage, what you're going to encounter is a lot of your other relatives not wanting to talk about it. So they are doing something good. They are doing something good by talking about things about it, and because the effects are still there. So yeah, he was a pretty, and then it's not just like somebody writing about something because I mean, he's also an actual writer. So we didn't do a show. Okay, So we didn't do a show last week because I was talking
We
about.
didn't do one last week.
Okay, so because I've been listening to the Shemima Begum podcast, and so I talked about how they had wound up getting her to run away, and it made so much sense for how this teenager was manipulated. It almost surprised me that more girls that there weren't more kids running away to join ISIS. I mean, they just tapped into all the ways that adolescents are feeling, and her family was immigrants. So I think she's of Pakistani descent. So it's not like she would feel totally at home in England either, so I think they must like really deliberately pick people. So she got to Syria and was married to a guy that had come from Australia. She went, and so I'm all for being hard on people you're interviewing, but and I haven't gotten to the end of it because I mentioned this too. The reporter says that he thinks she's sociopathic, but because I was listening to the interview today, and he's saying, like, don't you see how you running away to join this terrible organization makes you part of it? And I'm like, what the fuck, man? She was like fucking groomed and trafficked and given away in a society where women have no rights. What the fuck are you talking about? She was a woman. She was a victim. I mean, but it's fascinating how they do the research, because the journalist was interviewing Shemima, and he interviewed the guy that she'd been married to, and he wanted to find the identity of the person that Shemima had been staying with, and who was an Egyptian arms dealer. So he went to Raqqa to try and find the place where she'd been staying. It's pretty amazing. I mean, it's amazing that, the BBC would have spent a ton. I mean, they must really anticipate this podcast and documentary getting a lot of attention, because they spent a ton of money on it. I mean, he went to Raqqa, and I mean, he said it's just still destroyed, and that the people he spoke to there just said, I mean, okay, the world stopped paying attention. The world thinks the war is over, but their city was still destroyed. So they found somebody who knew her, and he'd been a business person, but ISIS shut him down, and so he was working to provide electricity. So we talked about this before, about how ISIS just had meticulous records, and so because they'd gone into a house and had looked around it, and then they went to go look for the records, and it was all, the Nazis were like this too. It was all documented, the condition of the house, and then they found where the arms dealer had requested it. So basically it's like, okay, here you go, we just threw these people out of their house, and here's the paperwork so you can have it. I mean, it's all there, all the information. And like there was a woman who was a hairdresser, and she was forced to prepare women for sex slavery. I mean, she was or she would have been killed herself. And I don't know, we don't talk about them so much now, but you know, so that's just the most interesting part. They go to you know, they go and they find, somebody will say like, oh, well, go talk to this person. Cause and it's all through a translator too. Most of it is. And so they're definitely talking to some pretty scary people.
That's crazy.
It is. It really is. But you know, it's just wrong. How are you gonna hold? I mean, you know, women, like, okay, you're trying to say this girl is like, this woman is guilty of something when she ran away to join an organization that treat women like that. So yeah. What'd you think of the halftime show?
It was all right. It was pretty good. I thought it was pretty good. I liked Rihanna. It was pretty good. And I like what's his name? The country singer.
Oh, yeah.
He was good too.
Yeah. They had a Black deaf interpreter signing for Rihanna.
You know what? I was gonna say that to you.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I was like, I was waiting to see if you were gonna talk about that.
Okay.
I was gonna tell you that.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. It was cool.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a big deal. Yeah. Yeah. And it is. And because it's important. It's something it's important to Black deaf people that the interpreter be Black. And so, yeah, she signed that, and she signed the national anthem, the national America the Beautiful too. But yeah. So that was cool. There's somebody tagged me on Facebook last week, and there's a viral video of, I think, Sir Mix-a-Lot's sign language interpreter, you know, and they think since I'm interested in it, she tagged it. She was like, oh, yeah, look. And I'm thinking like, oh no. I'm like, okay, that's exactly what people don't like, but she meant well. So yeah, it was very cool. They're catching on. That's probably, I bet that's coming from Rihanna.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't surprise me, because I don't find her, I mean, her music is just never really been that interesting to me, but she always comes across as really smart. So
very good, man. It was a very good one. Very
yeah.
good show that she did.
Yeah. I was watching, then I was just seeing I was just looking at an article about people doing transatlantic flights to go to Beyonce's concert. You know, people go fucking crazy when it comes to Beyonce. It's fascinating.
Yeah, Beyonce is the queen as of this generation.
Yes. Yes, she is. Definitely. Let's take another break.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah, testing 1, 2.
I'm the realest nigga alive. 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 I'm the realest nigga alive.
Yeah, I'm the realest nigga alive. I'm from Vallejo, California, where it's hard to survive. Some of my niggas didn't make it past age 25. My brother's locked up doing 160 to life. See, Fillion, I'm the realest nigga alive. I got your baby mama giving me some head on live. She said I make her feel comfortable and don't know why. She said she usually don't do this, but I know she's a lie. Still a nasty. I'm the realest nigga alive. I got my GED in prison when I'm doing my time. I used to hustle on the streets every day to survive. Now I got my own business running 3 websites. Yeah, nasty. I'm the realest nigga alive. I like to rap and make beats and smoke weed till I'm high. My fans tell me Thug Nasty, you're a talented guy. I motivate to create, that makes me happy in life. Yeah, I'm the realest nigga alive. 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 No, I'm the realest nigga alive. 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 I'm from DC, that's where niggas survive. Shit might have slowed down, but still homicides are frequent. So many niggas locked up inside a precinct. Been locked up in jail a couple of times myself. Had to go through some trouble to find myself. I wish I could rewind myself and try and fix shit. Multiple man's therapy is writing sick shit. Writing dope by the ounces, pounds and quarters. Superstar status for me is just around the corner. Never do things the cowardly way. A multiple man, 24 hours a day. My powerful display that you seen is strong. Wiggly asses is what I like to see in the thong. I'm a nigga that's right when I be in the wrong. Of course I'm real. You see, I was asking me in the song. I'm the realest nigga alive. No, I'm the realest nigga alive. I'm the realest nigga alive. No, I'm the realest nigga alive. Look it up, brother. These melodies. Hearing these melodies.
What up, Anna?
What up, Roselle?
Bring us back.
I'm a little quiescent. I kind of put the ASL at Vallejo City Council, I put that down for a bit. So I got a no back from the state, and it's kind of gotten enough publicity now and enough attention so that if more deaf people wanted to join in, they would. And it's, you know, again, be very clear. I mean, people want it, people wrote, people signed, people do want it, but that's very different than coming out and like trying to demonstrate and all that, which is tiring and a lot of work and energy, and you shouldn't have to do it. So
what's that mean? That it's not going to ever happen, or do you have to petition for it again, or what?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it means I'm no longer trying to get it to happen.
Gotcha. Okay.
So yeah, and then we were looking at doing a town hall, and so yeah, I'm just going to put it down for now. I mean, kind of you know, I mean, I have the relationship with Teddy, and I don't know. I mean, I need to see what happens, but yeah, that's down for now. So a friend of mine is working on putting, I don't know. So yeah, I'm not too sure what the comic book, it's getting closer to the end, I think. I'm not totally sure.
So are you going to sell your comics at a Comic-Con, or how are you going to do it? Are you going to put it on Amazon?
If I can put them on Amazon, I will. I don't think just anybody can put comics on Amazon. It's gonna be, what I think is mostly gonna happen is that it will go through circles of people that are interested in Bayard Rustin. I think that's where the real buzz is gonna come from. And yeah, that's what I would anticipate. Because it's not, I don't know. I mean, it's just confusing. I had to, you know, because again, I'm like grappling a little bit with like how much how much facts to kind of put in it. And yeah, I mean, I think people, so I don't know. I mean, sure, I'll go to a Comic-Con. I don't see why not. And then hopefully the artist will. And then, but see, I'm trying to do it. I'm just figuring out how to do it because I split the project in half. And so the guy in Nigeria is doing the first half and Age's friend is doing the second half. So, but it really has to be together. So I'm trying to figure out how to, I mean, I think it's cool. I always thought of it as an anthology type project, but I have to figure out like, okay, well, how's the cover gonna work? But, I just think it should be called a certain thing. And then, you get through it and then like, okay, next chapter is done by somebody else. So that's sure as fuck what I'm hoping for.
It's gonna work out, Anna. Anna be into everything, y'all. I don't know how she does it.
I don't work as much as you. That's how.
You're starting to get there. You're getting there.
Hope so.
Going in the club, dude.
I hope so. So, yeah. Well, I don't have a whole lot more to say.
Well,
we can wrap it up.
All right, y'all.
Okay, everybody.
Until next weekend or next Wednesday. I'm sorry, I'm saying weekend. Yeah. So I'm gone. Next Wednesday, y'all.
Okay, cool.
All right.